Okay. Good morning, Ms. Riani and friends. So on this wonderful morning, we will be presenting an analysis of Ignatius Loyola's leadership formation in the Inigo script based on Watson's behavioristic theory. First, let me introduce you to our group. We are from group 6, which consists of Mabel, Daniel, me, Eugene, Jesslyn, Titan, and Tandia. So I will be explaining the behavioristic theory by John B. Watson. John B. Watson says that human behavior is shaped by the environment through stimulus and response. He said that behavior can be learned, modified, and formed through conditioning and reinforcement.
My name is Mabel from 11-3, student number 1. And our research question is, how does Ignatius Loyola's leadership development and spiritual transformation in the script Inigo illustrate behavioristic principles of stimulus, response, and reinforcement? To start, let me introduce you to Inigo's life's journey. So he started his career as a soldier, but then a cannonball injury during a battle becomes a turning point, both physically and spiritually. This painful experience acts as a stimulus that triggers deep reflection and change. His response is a dramatic shift in priorities. So he began a pilgrimage to Jerusalem and religious studies. And then over time, his spiritual dedication is reinforced as he gains followers that be that begin be, become his companions in founding the Jesuits. And then he also creates the spiritual exercises, which becomes a form of positive reinforcement for both himself and others on similar paths.
Hello everyone, I'm Tanya, and now I want to focus on how the behaviors concept of stimulus is clearly shown in the script Inigo, which tells the story of Ignatius Loyola. So in behaviors theory, especially Watson's, stimulus refers to something from the environment that trigger a change in behavior of a person. It could be an experience, an event, or something a person sees, feels, or hears. And for Inigo, he experiences a major stimulus when he was badly injured in a battle. He was badly injured that he had to give up from the war, and while he's healing, he had a lot of time to think. And during the healing process, he exposed to religious literatures, and he read two books. The first one is The Life of the Saints and The Life of Christ. These books and moments made him think new ideas of way of living. Unlike before, he starts to think about life that is more holy and meaningful than living a life that is full of fame and success. And these moments become an environmental stimulus that give him a big push and act as a stimulus to give birth to ideas and new values that begins his transformation into the holy life.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Daniel Zevanya Pratama. So after we hear the stimulus section before, next we continue the response section is behavioral shift. So as we see on the screen, The first things is external influences. So the first moment is cannonball moment for the Ignatius Loyola, and that moment is influenced Loyola to read some books like Jesus Christ Journey, A Saint Journey, and all of the books contained philosophy and theology. And Loyola read these books when he take some rest to recovery his faith. So can we see the illustrates? That's mean he begins to pursue a life of spiritual discipline, service to others, and sacrifice. This is the illustrate of this response they received. And then the conclusion of this section is from behavior's idea, uh, behavior change by an external influences. Thank you.
Okay, so good morning, Miss Riani and everyone. My name is Kristantina Angelina Waiko, and I'm here to explain the next part, which is called reinforcement. So I'm going to explain what is reinforcement itself. So reinforcement in psychology is any form of response that strengthens a behavior or response, increasing the likelihood that the behavior will be repeated in the future. And in this case, Luigi chose his way by doing positive reinforcement, like what Daniel said before, like sacrificing and so on. And we had 3 points that we highlight in here. So the first one is repetitions and discipline. So repetition is a behavior that is always repeated. And in this case, Luigi did it by pushing himself and he left his partner as a noble. The behavior is such as a constantly refuse or reject worldly invitations, always consistent to do fasting. And then also on our part, Luigi was used to help and serve other people, such as poor people, homeless, and feed a food for poor, and then get a better education for children and so on. And it repeated until new behaviors came. And by this kind of new behavior, he used to pray and do the devotions and prayers. And also, devotions in here means that he is always obedient to Jesus, I mean, to God, and builds the right pattern by serving the word. And also, what I was saying before, because of continuing to do a positive pattern, it also proves that the positive behaviorism, he never gives a chance to be blamed by anyone because he already built his good habits, such as spiritual exercises, join Jesuit, read the Bible, and do what the Bible said. And it was the loyalty of Luigi to his God, and it's not always easy to serve God by building and restraining worldly desires. And yeah, in the last point, positive proving in behaviorism, like doing the spiritual exercise. So he started the journey from this kind of Bible. So that's all about my explanations. And thank you so much.
Good morning, Miss Riani and friends. My name is Jesslyn Avelina from number 15, and now we will jump into the conclusion. So, Ignatius' spiritual change leading to leadership actions and decisions that were influenced by what happened around him shows that there is a connection between environmental events and human behavior. It illustrates how behavior can be influenced, modified, and even transformed through stimulus and response. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for your attention. We hope the information we've shared can be helpful Goodbye.